Hi, my name is Dr. Fab, and I'm right now doing this video from Pakistan, Karachi, and it is already 27th of March over here. And in US, it's going to be 27th of March morning soon. This is a very important message exclusively done to JD Vance. I just saw his video that's going viral all over the social media where he's kind of trying to justify the Iran invasion by saying that Iranians were planning to put these suicide vests containing nuclear weapons and bringing them to US and blasting the American people. He's basically destroyed the only possibility of a peace accord between US and Iran. As you know, we have the Epstein scandal unfolding all over the world with a lot of important, very powerful elite implicated in it with tangible proof against them. And one of the most important figures who has been implicated in the scandal is the current president of the United States. Trump won the election because Biden and Kamala were both committing a genocide in Gaza, and the American people did not want the genocide to continue. So we saw a lot of Latinos and a lot of Muslims vote for Trump against Kamala Harris to try to end the genocide. And even though Latinos were concerned that if they voted for Trump, he would impose a draconian crackdown against the Hispanic population, which is exactly what happened, where we saw a lot of dictatorial crackdown against the Hispanics. And but still, in spite of this probability, the Latinos voted for Trump and were the reason why Trump won. And the reason why they voted for him was because they did not want the genocide to continue under the Democrats. So basically, if you look at the history of why Trump won the election, you can easily confer that it was because he said he was going to end all wars. But then when he won the election, we saw he did totally the opposite of what he should have done according to his election slogans. He continued to support Israelis' aggression, escalation of war against the people of Gaza, against the children of Gaza, against the activists, against the paramedics, against the doctors of Gaza. He continued to do that. And the justification that we were able to come to behind his complete support of the genocide was that he's implicated very much in the Epstein scandal. And Netanyahu visited him many times in order to coerce a complete collusion out of him in this war in Palestine, in Gaza, where we are still seeing an aid blockade, we're still seeing a complete destruction of civilian infrastructures and a complete attempt to convert all of Gaza into an uninhabitable space. Uninhabitable space. And not just that, what we saw come out of the entire fiasco is this weird peace scam that basically gave the copyrights and the territorial rights of half of Gaza to Israel. And this was done very much under the supervision of Trump and his real estate broker son-in-law, Jared Kushner. So we saw a lot of imperialism, colonialism, invasion of Gaza, continued destruction of the lives and livelihoods of the people of Gaza under Trump against his election slogans. And then not just this, the next thing we know is he's invaded Iran for no reason at all. And he says he did it because Israel invaded and attacked Iran and he had to do it to protect Israel. But I have to kind of remind the American people and JD Vance that you cannot be you're at a turning point in the history of United States. You're either going to be the president of Israel or you're going to be the president of the United States, because you cannot do both of the things right now together. Because if you tried to be the leader of Israel, you will end up destroying all of United States. You could end up decimating the entire United States. Today is the 27th of March. It has literally started, almost started. Let me see. It's going to almost start in US as well. It started in some of the areas of the US, but having said that, 27th of March has been designated as the date when they're going to try to convince the American people that this war is legit and this war was needed and this war needs to be continued. The aggression has to be continued, and they're going to do it in the form of a false flag attack on the soil of United States. And the only thing that could stop all of this is a possible peace agreement between the United States and Iran. And the process already got started by Pakistan's head of the state. And they are trying to bring about a peaceful accord. But having said that, the people of Iran do not want to talk to Trump anymore. And they do not want to talk to Jared Kushner. They don't want to talk to the same people who were involved in the genocide of Gaza and in forming the notorious peace scam that has led to the very treacherous division of Gaza and handing over of half of Gaza categorically to Israel. So they don't want to talk to Trump. They don't want to talk to Jared Kushner. And they don't want to talk to anybody who had to do anything with this. But they're willing to talk to J.D. Vance. And one of the biggest reasons is because they think, they're under the impression that J.D. Vance is not in the Epstein files. And he has no reason to be coerced. He has no reason to be manipulated by the Israeli elite. You know what I mean? So they're willing to give peace a chance. But then when you see them trying to give peace a chance by being willing to engage in a peaceful, meaningful dialogue with the US ruling administration, what we see is this weird video pop up as a viral video of J.D. Vance who's actually reinforcing the pro-war narrative, the rhetoric that Iranian people are very volatile and they're going to wear suicide vests on their chest, enter US and destroy US with a nuclear Armageddon. This is propaganda. This is rhetoric. Iranian people are not going to do that. If they wanted to do that, they would, we are into almost a month of war. They would have attacked the United States by now. They have the means already to invade the United States, and they haven't done that in the last 30 days. What they have done instead is to paralyze the military infrastructure of the United States within the Middle East so as to protect themselves from any invasions in their backyards. So this is the only thing they have done. They have not attacked the United States as yet. Those people, the deep state, the dirty deep state that is running the United States policies, trying to twist the arms of both the parties, twisted the arms of Biden, Harris, and now is twisting the arm of Trump, possibly Vance as well. They want to impose a false flag attack today as I speak these words on the soil of the United States to convince the American people that it is justifiable to continue to escalate this war to the point where we have a total Armageddon all over the world, where we engage multiple countries into a World War III, and where no possibility of peace is possible. You know what I mean? So the only thing that could have stopped any further escalation of violence from both the sides, the only thing that could have stopped this would have been a meaningful, rational, common sense dialogue in Islamabad between J.D. Vance and the Iranian ruling elite right now. And that only possibility of a peace just got sabotaged by J.D. Vance's stupid video. United States is at high security alert. I have a lot of family in Arizona. Literally, I called them yesterday. I told them, I warned them. Arizona is on the hit list for a false flag attack. My family is in Arizona. Okay? I'm in Pakistan right now, but my family right now, people I love, they are in Arizona. So, and Arizona has been identified and put on the target list. That's one of the states for a false flag attack to happen today, as I say these words. And once that false flag attack happens, they're going to try to justify to the American people that it is okay to continue to invade and continue to escalate violence and to put boots on the ground, which have already left to be placed against the Iranian people. So there are two possibilities that could come out of this. The first possibility is that J.D. Vance tries to end this war by having a direct dialogue with the ruling class of Iran. He tries his level best because his name is not in the Epstein list, okay? It's not. What reason does he have to put the interests of Israelis above those of the American people? And then having said that, even a continued war is not even in favor of the Israelis right now. They are getting hammered. The last thing they need is any more escalation. They are getting hammered. They are getting slammed in every nook and corner by Iran, by Iran's retaliatory strikes. So what reason do the Israeli people have to continue the escalation against Iran? So if you look at the entire fiasco with a neutral point of view, this war cannot work for anybody who is not in the military-industrial complex. It can only work for people who are war profiteering. It is not in the interest of anybody, any neutral person in the world. It's not in the best interest of the Iranian people. It is not in the best interest of the American people. It is not in the best interest of the Israelis even. It is not in the best interest of anybody. So why are we continuing this war? Iranians wearing a suicide vest, wanting to just destroy United States with a nuclear bomb? Seriously? Are you serious? They are lying. All of them are lying. And I don't understand. Trump has a reason to lie because his name is implicated in the Epstein list. Okay, so he's trying to cover his dirty laundry.
But what reason does J.D. Vance have? He also came on this election slogan. He promised the American people that he's going to end the wars. He's not in favor of wars. He's not a pro-war leader. And he has a very high probability of winning the next election for the Oval Office. He's going to run, of course, but he cannot win if this war continues and kills thousands of American soldiers, because it will turn out to be a big disaster. Big disaster for not just Trump, who doesn't care, who's just too scared of the Epstein scandal to think rationally, but it will also be a big disaster for J.D. Vance as well, who actually has a reason to worry, because he's 41 years old. He became the vice president of the United States, and he's wanting to run for the Oval Office in the next few years, and he cannot do so if he has the bloodshed of thousands of American soldiers on his plate, on his hands, for a war that he could have ended. Iranian ruling policy makers have given him a chance to make a difference, not just for himself, for his career. They've given him a chance to win the next election. But they've also given this world a chance for peace. They have given the United States, Israel, and Iran itself a chance for peace by being willing to indulge and engage in a meaningful dialogue with him. So I don't understand that all these videos that are coming up, where they're still warmongering and where they're still trying to justify violence, aggression, escalation. You have to understand that United States was not attacked, invaded by Iran in this, like 4 weeks ago, sorry. It was Israel who attacked Iran first, and then US joined and escalated the violence, killed their highest, most revered scholar, religious scholar. I mean, think about it. It was like if someone attacked the Vatican and killed the Pope, what would the Catholics all over the world feel? So the Shia Muslims, who are all over the world, they looked up to Khamenei as their religious scholar with the highest authority. And they just killed him just like that. And they thought that by killing him, they would be able to do whatever they want, but they actually landed into a worse situation, because he was actually against nuclear weapons. He did not like them. He thought they were weapons of mass destruction. He had a reason. He felt uncomfortable even making them. But now he's not there anymore. And if he was alive, this war would not have prolonged so long, like the last one that they had, like between Israel and Iran. It didn't prolong that long because he was 86 years old. He was more mature. He knew when to de-escalate and give peace a chance. But even today, we are seeing that the Iranian foreign minister has agreed to talk to J.D. Vance. And Pakistan is not going to bluff the whole world about this. Obviously, they have a reason to, they have a solid reason to back up this claim that the Iranian regime is willing to give peace a chance as long as they don't have to talk to Trump, who's implicated in the Epstein scandal. So there's a conflict of interest. As long as they don't have to talk to his real estate broker, son-in-law, who is always trying to turn all these peace accords into corporate trading agreements. again, a conflict of interest, and he does not want, and they don't want to talk to the other people who were involved in the entire Gaza peace camp, because they have seen the poor performance, and they have seen the corruption, and they just don't feel comfortable talking to them. They think they're biased, they're prejudiced, and they're not gonna be really interested in peace. The only person they are willing to talk to is J.D. Vance, and the reason for that is because they think he's anti-war, not really anti-war, but he's kind of in a position where he does not want the war to aggravate or escalate just like that. And he was against the Iraq war, and they think he has no reason to have a conflict of interest or to be to serve against the national interests of US. So they are willing to trust him, which is a big deal, because for the last 4 months, Trump has been trying really hard to try to talk to the Iranian regime, but they are not willing to give him a chance because they do not trust him. And their reasons, the biggest reason is that he's implicated in the Epstein scandal, and they think that his judgment, his insight, his decisions are going to be influenced by the Epstein list and the fact that he is implicated in it. And so they don't want to talk to him. And so they gave J.D. Vance a chance, and the next thing we know is that now J.D. Vance a video is coming up where he's saying these weird things like a suicide west, and from nowhere portraying Iranian people as terrorists. I don't know, you have like a state, a sovereign state that has millions of people in it, and you're classifying them as terrorists. I don't understand. And then you're saying you have an issue with the Iranian regime because you call them hardliners, you call them Islamists. I don't understand. You're willing to talk to a lot of Sharia compliant Gulf countries that have very strict Sharia laws, that are Islamic countries. You're willing to have alliances with them. You're willing to have like trade with them. You're willing to have military bases in their countries, but you don't want, you think that the ruling regime of Iran is a terrorist. I don't understand. Why do you have that bias? Why you're not even willing to give peace a chance? Why aren't you willing to sit down with them? I mean, look at al-Shara, the guy who is right now the head of the state of Syria. He was an affiliate of Al-Qaeda. He literally was affiliate of the organization that committed 9/11 and killed thousands of American people. He is getting hosted and glorified by the American administration, and this has been done since the Biden era. You're willing to sit in a dialogue with an affiliate of an organization that committed 9/11, but you do not want to talk to the Iranian regime? What kind of hypocrisy is that? I mean, Iranian regime did not condone to 9/11. Look back on the archives. They do not condone to 9/11. They condemned the terrorist attack. The guy who just killed the spiritual scholar Khamenei, he did not support 9/11. He could have bombed US a month ago, but he chose not to. He had the apparatus, he had the arms, he had the weapons to attack US for the last 4 weeks. But he chose not to, and he was killed. To escalate, to aggravate, to end the world, to end the United States. There's a lot of money involved here. there's always a lot of money involved in war. Wars are not done anymore for ideologies or for self-defense. Wars are done nowadays for money. Period. Money, money, money. Corporations want wars for their own reasons. People made millions of dollars when Trump flipped his decision to not attack Iran on Monday, after he gave an ultimatum by trading stocks. So while the media, the mainstream media is telling you one thing, underreporting what needs to be reported, and over-reporting what does not need to be, what is a lie, what is fake, we are seeing a lot of money being made by those invisible actors who are not even identifiable on the mainstream media or even on the social media. There are news here and there about a lot of money being made, but we don't have any objectivity because they're working very quietly. And they have a way to influence your mind, to convince you that this war is necessary, this war is essential, and you will die if you don't condone to this war. But you have to use your brains and you have to try to understand that this war is not for the safety and security of the American people or anybody in the world. Iran is not a threat to anybody in the world. It is not a threat to the Gulf states. It is not a threat to the American people. Israelis have been very aggressive towards Iran, and they need to come to the table now to talk to the Iranian people and the Iranian regime. But before we can do that, J.D. Vance has to give peace a chance. If he doesn't want to do it for the American people, for the world, he has to do it for himself. He has a very selfish reason to do it for himself. This is my message to J.D. Vance, the Vice President of the United States. If you don't want to do it for the United States, if you don't want to do it for the American people who could suffer from a false flag attack soon, do it for yourself. Do it so that you could win the next election and become the next president of the United States. Because if thousands of American soldiers are killed after they're placed on the ground, as is being planned right now, their blood is going to be on your hands, and the American people are not going to forgive or forget. This is going to cost you your next election. So you have a very valid, legit reason to try to end this war in the most amicable way there is, which is by sitting with the ruling class, with the ruling regime of Iran right now, and talking to them and coming to a civilized, peaceful agreement. This war is not going to help anybody. They are going to make and carve their own totalitarian, draconian, new system, and they're going to make a lot of money, and they're going to try to enslave the entire human civilization. We're talking about smart lockdowns right now. We're talking about outbreaks. Now they're talking about COVID-26. I mean, there is so much talk out there. It's like every day, it's like a new thing popping up out of this war. How much can you control? How much can you push back? There are so many agendas, nefarious agendas, that are going to be formed into a reality if this war continues. So please, give peace a chance. Nobody's wearing a suicide vest from Iran coming to US and blasting it off. Nobody's going to do that. Nobody's done it to date, and nobody's going to do that. And if Israel commits a false flag attack like it has been doing to try to pull in all the Gulf state countries, even Pakistan, even Turkey, they've been trying to pull in every Muslim country possible in the periphery of Iran into this war to engage against Iran, to run a free war for Israel all this time. They're trying to justify this invasion by even attacking the military bases that are co-owned by US and UK, and the Cyprus one as well. So there's a lot of lie, there's a lot of deceit, there's a lot of drama, there's a lot of propaganda, there's a lot of rhetoric, but use your mind, come on. We have been through 2 decades, more than 2 decades, 2.5 decades of bloodshed, violence. I posted something, I said, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, is the prophet of peace and love. And so is Jesus Christ, peace be upon him, prophet of peace and love. And so is Moses, peace be upon him, prophet of peace and love. All 3 are mentioned in the holy book of Muslims, Quran, as prophets of Allah, the same God. What's wrong with trying to live together and trying to coexist together without killing each other? What's wrong with that? I mean, this is a very simple question I have to ask everybody, including J.D. Vance. What's wrong with trying to coexist? When all the prophets of Islam, of Christianity, of Judaism are prophets of peace and love. Hate is a 4-letter word. Love is not. Peace is not a 4-letter word. Try to make it work. It can work. Give it a chance. And try to stay away from people who are trying to make money out of it, trying to get more real estate out of it, like Jared Kushner, like the other ones. Try to do something so that you can win the next election. I mean, I'm giving you a very selfish reason to try to make this peace work. If you don't find a patriotic reason to serve the interests of the American people. And I'm saying that because I think you can do it if you give it a little bit of push, because you're not implicated in the notorious Epstein scandal. Bye-bye. I hope this makes sense. Bye-bye. And I hope, before I end this, the false flag attack that is planned to be staged today in the United States, I hope that's diverted, that's neutralized, and that's not allowed to happen. And this is my message to the administration of the United States and to the lawmakers, to the law agencies of the United States. Don't let them do this. Don't allow this to happen, please. Innocent people are going to die, as per the sacrifice and the Hannibal directive of the Israelis' agenda. Don't let this happen, please. Bye-bye.